Hello, I'm NBG, and welcome to Fresh 60 Fresh Server, episode 19. And guess what, everybody? This is the last episode of our Fresh 60 Fresh Server because we hit our goal. We have over 1,000,000 gold, and that was the goal with this series. It was to show you a start, step 1, step 0 even, step, just going all the way through to get your first 1,000,000 gold. We've done that. We now have 1,042,000, and today is a little bit just going to be kind of going through the motions, and I'm going to do some time and go over my TSM and just look at some of the revenue and look at what's happened in the last week or so, discuss the future, just things of that nature. It's gonna be a little bit more of a wrap-up episode as I also kind of go through the routine. So, with that being said, let's get started. We always start with our Covenant table. It has made us a pretty good amount of gold as we've been going through this process. I can't stress it enough, especially with the XP event going on right now. Level those alts, even if you just want to use those alts for a month to take advantage of this. I mean, even just look at just this one character. I mean, that's when I do the skin here in 4 hours tonight, that's another 1,000 gold coming in. It really, really, really adds up. The boxes that you can get for, having, whether it's cloth or leatherworking supplies or enchanting supplies, those aren't hardly worth anything anymore. Those used to be worth a ton, and this used to be really good money. But even if you just do it for flat gold and use TLDR and just send out for anima gold and pet charms or something and campaign mission progress, it is totally worth it. So with that, there is that done. I actually do not need to check the mailbox because I actually did this morning, and I had a big mailbox, and that's actually why we were able to hit 1,000,000. We were able to hit 1,000,000 because I made a little over 100,000 just yesterday, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to do that here in a little bit. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I will break that down, what happened, what you should be doing, things of that nature, closer to the end of the video. I'm going to kind of skip ahead into the process and be like, hey guys, I also wanted to tell you that it is a great day to be doing your callings. We have a double in Revendreth and one that's rare resources, so you can do all 3 of these at the same time. So this is one of those rare days that, as long as it doesn't take too long, I mean honestly, even if it does kind of take too long, getting all 3 done in one go is insane. This is one of those days that you really need to make a little bit of extra time and get it done on as many characters as possible. It really, really adds up. When I do 3 callings on all my characters, it is well over 100,000 gold for me with how many characters I have. You really make a good amount of gold, and as long as you can do it under somewhere around 15 minutes on each character, so where you're getting around on average 4 an hour, and the gold's great. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. They're all in Revendreth. I actually haven't taken a look at the quests, so we have a defended and then 3 quests. So we have to do 3 quests. We have to also get 3 coins, and actually that'll be enough to fill out the defended. So what do we got? Race day, that's easy. These other ones actually suck. This is not a great time to do these. Oh, we're going to do the stone collected. And I actually think I have this set up already in my pet stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of cheat it a little bit, and I'm going to do that quest. So off we go. So as I get over here, taking a quick look, I think what I'm going to try is I'm going to go for this PvP pet battle one, or not PvP, but just pet battle one. Stoneborn Satchel, I'll go ahead and do race day. Here this one might be bugged, but I'll go out and take a look at this prize one, and then I'll come over here and do the fragments and the last prize, and that should be enough. Take a look at my time. I'm starting at about 3:39 my time. Let's see how long this takes me. Unfortunately, that first just pet battle one took 2 minutes by itself, plus I know I'm complaining over 2 minutes, but it all adds up. So unfortunately, I also have a pretty big flight path that I have to do all the way around. So let's see. My goal is to get this done under 15 minutes, just because I haven't done it on my main characters yet. And if I can do it under 15, then that kind of gives me a good idea of how much gold per hour I could be making if I did it on all my characters on my main server. So it took me basically exactly 10 minutes to get this done. One, because I forgot to record right there at the end, so that cost me a little bit of time. And then two, I actually, don't tell anybody, but I failed the race once. So between failing the race once and forgetting to push record right at the end, yeah, it's about 10 minutes to do the quick circuit around and have all 3 quests done. Obviously, I don't use like the engineering stuff to like teleport out here, which, I mean, I guess if you have a spot for it and you can, that would definitely save a few minutes time. I have to take whoever my people are and fly them out, and that honestly costs a couple minutes here and there. So I should at least be able to do 4 plus, you know, 4 to 5 per hour for all 3 of these done. That's pretty good, because even what on the low end it's like 1,500 gold, right? It's usually more than that. So let's say, yeah, between 4,500 and 5,000 gold for all 3 of these on 4 characters. So you're looking at somewhere around 20,000 gold an hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, man, gold's good. That gold is good. Don't sleep on it. Turning in the 3rd of the callings right now, and then we're going to go ahead and open these up and go sell. Let's get everything out of there. Go sell real quick. Pretty much 15 minutes on the dot. Not too bad. And 5,200. So there you go. 5,200. Some anima, some other crap. There we go. Alright, so our next step after doing that is I'm going to head to the auction house, and we're going to discuss kind of what I've made this week, what I'm selling now, and things of that nature. Okay, we are at the auction house now. Let's go ahead and talk about kind of the things I'm selling right now, just so you have a better representation of kind of what's happened this week. So as we all know, there is the XP buff going on right now that started, I think, this last Tuesday for me, you know, this week. I didn't start doing this right away, but if you recall on some of our old episodes, I never picked up the recipe to make the 233s, and the reason I never picked up the recipe was just for the fact that, like, the Desolate gear was selling extremely slow on this server, and I couldn't be bothered to make the 233s as well, even though honestly I really should have. I should have put this recipe up, bought the recipe early on in our adventures, that like 4th or 5th episode or whatever it was, whenever I hit honored. I should have bought that recipe right away. I should have been making these right away. That was dumb. That's on me. I could have been making more money. But anyway, and that's essentially what's happened. Is I was like, wow, well, that XP event's going on. I was noticing that I was selling more Desolate gear, like almost immediately, and I was like, well, let's go get the 233s and let's try it. And the reason I wanted to try it is I could see the prices. Like, look at this. Like, you know, that takes 400 gold to make, and, you know, it's over 2k, you know, almost 2.5k profit. Most of these were anywhere between like 1 and 3k profit. So I was like, screw it, let's make some and throw it up on the auction house. I sold a few over the first couple days, but not many, but it was still netting me profit, so I'm cool with it, right? And then the next day I would just make what had sold, right? I would just recraft. And then it came to yesterday. Yesterday I sold out a full set. I noticed I sold out a full set when I went on to cancel scan. So I was like, well, I'm sitting here. Let's go ahead and make another full set and get it up there. And then I sold a second full set. So stuff like that was happening yesterday, and I'll show you that. So like just yesterday I made like 102k on the auction house, and probably 80,000 plus of that was profit, and then probably around 60,000 of that was just selling the 233 gear and the item level, and like the level 50 gear, the Desolate stuff. So that's been making a killing in the last day or so, and that's kind of why we made a quick jump. I will go over my TSM here in a moment. I'm just showing you. I had a few pets, the same pets that I kind of put up before. You know, the Sea Breeze, the other stuff that I can get off of that vendor out in BFA. I actually have I've sold one Abyssal Eel on this server. Granted, I think that was at like 7k or 8k, something like that. And then I've sold one Sea Breeze out of all this. I haven't sold mini pets on this server, but I have sold one Sea Breeze, I think, in the last week. And other than that, it's mostly just the Desolate gear, right? That's all we have is leatherworking on this character. And then I've sold out of all the 291 pieces. If you remember, we have 4 pieces that we craft, and the profits were dropping mad again, as you guys probably noticed. Just like, well, actually, Essentially is actually up. It was at like 340 or something. When that started to tank, so did the prices on this server for the legendaries in general, and the profit just wasn't worth the time, because it's not like they sell quickly over here. I have to try really hard to get them to sell. So I'd kind of made a decision early in the week that I just wanted to sell out of my stock, and I think I'm done with legendaries. And then sure enough, yesterday, like 20,000 of that gold was also like the last couple 291s I had. They sold. I'm done with those. Time to move on. Oh, while I'm looking here, this is the kind of thing. Turtle scales are creeping up in price again. Might be a good time to go out and farm those. Not as much as that one day where I sold them at like 22 per, but still. That's still not bad gold, by the way. Just pointing that out, just because I notice it. Anyway, that's kind of what we've been selling and what's been going on here. I guess before I go into my TSM, I will quickly do a cancel scan. Again, I've been having issues with like TSM cancel scanning. I've been doing a lot of my cancel scanning through Auctionator and canceling that way, and then I usually go back through and I post with TSM. Let me know if you guys have been doing the same thing or not. But I don't get undercut that often on this server. Not like my main server, where I'm undercut like every 5 minutes, it seems. I went on there earlier today and I had hundreds of things, and almost everything have been undercut. As you can see, this is just the stuff from today that I've sold, like from this morning. Granted, I wasn't around for a lot of the days, so I didn't do any cancel scanning. But like, you know, there's 6.5k coming in right now, which again isn't a lot. Not like yesterday. Yesterday was 100k. But regardless, that's something I'll talk about in the end. But I'm kind of making gold again, both on my main server and this one. My like gold per day is increased a lot this week, obviously because of the EXP event going on. But let me go ahead and post these, and I will jump into TSM. Alright, here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into TSM and take a quick look. As you can see, we started this process, I think, on September 1st is when we started this character. It's been a bit over a month, and we hit our goal of over 1 million. Well over 1 million even. About 1,050,000, and I know I have more on the thread flipper as well that's not being shown there. So we've done pretty well, and all things considered, this actually was pretty good, because, you know, there was a time in here that I started going back to work, so on and so forth, and I really, for about 2 weeks, didn't hardly do anything over here, and we still hit that goal easily. And that kind of goes about with what I normally would do. Like on my main server, I think I easily make like, oh geez, probably 2.5 million a month right now, and that's with like the bad prices and stuff, because I haven't really branched out too much. I kind of just do my normal thing. I'm just making less gold. And over here, the same kind of thing. Like, I really didn't have much of an issue. It took barely over a month to hit 1 million. We could have easily done this way faster, by the way, and maybe that's something I will do maybe next time I do this series, and just try to do it even quicker. Because, I mean, I think you guys might agree, I went through this really casually, on top of having about a 2-week period where I hardly did anything on here, and we still hit it at a pretty decent amount of time. 5 weeks or whatever, like a month and a week. Not too bad to get over the 1 million mark. Let's go ahead and take a look just in the ledger and go over the revenue. I specifically wanted to look at the last 3 days. Yeah, I didn't want to have vendor on there. Let's take that off. And then, yeah, anyway, so as you can see, this is kind of where we had a pretty good jump. Looks like we made a little over 200k. I would say that's not profit, right? Because it's not accounting for what I've spent. It's probably 150k profit just in the last 3 days. We made a pretty good amount. I remember 3 or 4 days ago I was at like, yeah, that's about right. Probably a little over 800k, and then we just shot up a lot. And I just kind of wanted to show off a little bit what happened. First of all, Thread Flipper. This is where all this has been coming in at. The Thread Flipper has been doing work on this server. I did send over a little bit of money to this character earlier today. So the Thread Flipper actually had made about 65,000 gold or so, if not a little bit more by itself. And we also didn't start flipping until like 2 or so weeks in, for doing the flux and the thread. And I only gave it 5,000 to start, so it took a while to build up to be able to buy more and more. So I probably should have just sent over like 30,000 gold immediately and let it start making more money right away. There's really no reason why I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't. So we could have made more from that, but essentially the Thread Flipper literally took 5,000 gold, made it into 65,000 gold just by going on there and buying thread and flux and salt a little bit, not much, from the vendor and selling it at a profit. You got to remember that there is an auction house cut, so like I kind of have benchmarks. I don't sell the thread if it's under 9 gold and 49 silver. If it's that or above, I will sell it. And then the same kind of thing with the flux. If I recall, I usually want it to have at least 8 gold is kind of where I sell it. I sold some cheaper than that, but that's because there was 2 times that I got on and saw people posting, like I bought, geez, how much did I buy? I bought like 8,000 or something. Actually, I think it was more than that. I think it was like, yeah, like 9,000 or something flux. I think they posted them at like 5 something, like way under what you could get them from the vendor. I bought them all and flipped them for what they should be flipped for. So that kind of stuff still happens. But yeah, that's kind of where that went. And then as you can see, again, this is just the last 3 days. I sold an awful lot of that 233 gear. So now this server, the profits are very good, right? You know, they're like 2k profits per. Like, that's very good on this server. My main server, it's nowhere near. It's a couple hundred gold, but they're still flying out and they're still making me gold. But I'm making more over here. You get it, right? Like, each server is going to be different. These are server-based commodity, server-based items that, they're not a general commodity for the region. So it is a server-by-server basis. So hopefully you can be making these. Again, the 233s, which is not showing the right item level, but the 233s, you just have to be honored with the Enlightened or whatever out in Zereth Mortis. You can buy the recipe off the vendor. It costs like 2 or 3k. On this character, it's like I sold 1 item and I made my money back. So, yeah, I am making a ton off of that. There's been a few times where things like drums have popped up to be making profit. I'm sure you guys have noticed, like the bardings and things of that nature. I have noticed in this last week, both on this server and my main, that there's been items that I really have not made money for quite some time that have popped up and been making money again. That's why you always look. You never know. You might find this weird time where, God, I had some elixirs and some other things like that I had made some potions or whatnot that had really good profits, and I'm like, what? These have really good profits? I got them up. I aggressively cancel scan to try to make sure they sold for profit on my main server. Things like that do pop up. You just gotta be ready when they do, I guess. Everything else is random junk from doing world quests, and you can see just like whatever like 291s and stuff that were left got sold. Like one of them got sold for like 6.5k. I think it was like at price because the market had tanked so hard. I just wanted to get rid of it, to be honest. I could have maybe saved and not, but I just wanted to get rid of it. So I basically sold out of that. And that's it, a lot of desolate gear and a lot of those 233s. And that's just like in the last 3 days. We can go back farther, like this whole week, and you can see just how many like desolate pieces and whatnot. And again, a lot a lot of flux and stuff because the thread flipper's been doing work. So that's kind of just what's been going on, and that's what I've been selling, and that's kind of why we had a jump in our overall profits. And let's go ahead and close that out. All right, and let's go ahead and conclude this. So I think our Fresh 60 Fresh server project was definitely a success. It's not something I'd ever done before, but I thought it was relatively easy enough, and I just wanted to give it a go. We were able to take a character with nothing and build it up and go through the initial process of getting beginning gold and to, you know, push into doing legendaries and investing in yourself to be able to make those. Granted, we started this character way too darn late. Like, if I would have done this like a month prior, we would have made way more money way quicker. Like, I started this like once all that stuff was really dying. But regardless, I thought we did really, really well. And then after that, it was extremely casual, where I mostly just did my calling every day, would wait and get things lined up like today and do 3 in one go. Like now I don't have to do callings for, you know, a few days. And that's basically all I did. I did that and restock. And then, you know, we had a handful of episodes where I did a 1 hour farm. You know, the 1 hour farming we did, maybe 100,000 gold or something out of everything we made came from, like, farming, like that. We really didn't make a whole lot of money that way. So it was extremely casual. We could have done it so much faster if we wanted to, but we didn't need to, right? We didn't need to. So anyway, this was a super successful, and I will probably do it again at some point. Maybe not this expansion. That'll happen sometime next expansion, probably. Now to talk about what the future holds. I think, have a couple videos I want to make on the Dragonfly beta, specifically about different professions and how they're looking, and my thoughts and opinions on, you know, what I'm going to level, what I'm going to go for spec-wise. I'm still keeping a very close eye on the beta in general, for basically every reason, whether it's gold making or not. You know, I'm ecstatic and super excited for the expansion. I'm hopeful, I guess is the correct word. I'm trying not to be too optimistic, and I'm trying not to be pessimistic, but I am very, very hopeful, and I guess I'm leaning optimistic. It's been fun messing around with the beta. I've done a little bit of leveling. I've messed with the evokers. I could make a video on something like that if you guys are interested. I actually feel like I'm in the minority. I actually don't like how they play very much. I need to play it more and mess with it more, because honestly, like, every other class I've played so much over the years that they all, regardless, always feel like, you know, riding a bike, right? It's something I've played so much that I don't have to think much about it, and maybe that's what the problem is. But on paper, I really thought evokers would totally be my thing, and my initial impression is that they're not. But that's, again, an initial impression, right? So that could change. Dragon riding was really fun. However, I'm definitely gonna be frustrated in the beginning not having like everything unlocked for dragon riding. I'm definitely gonna be one of those people that are gonna have to get it like fully unlocked like right away, because I'm bad at it. Honestly, I am. It's also something that you're gonna have to relearn a bit, as crazy as that is. But I can definitely see, once I know how to fly a little bit better and I have it all unlocked, it is awfully cool, and I can't wait for everybody else to try it too, because it's pretty nifty. But anyway, I just have a few more videos specifically on the professions I want to make. At some point I will probably make a guide, not a guide, but a more of a rundown of my plans for the start of the expansion. Maybe not just the start, but my general philosophy of what I'm going to be doing first and why. I'll probably get that in at some point. If they hurry up and get stuff out on the PTR so that we can see what's happening in the pre-patch, I will be looking for gold making opportunities, and I will be sure to get back to everybody on that, but I can't until they show their cards on what they're doing. I don't even know if they will, or really if they're even really going to have an event at all. It might just be like, hey, here's new talents, here's Evoker, have fun guys. Like, there might actually not be anything. Like, we don't know. So I'm kind of waiting on that. And then again, as I kind of discussed last week, I do want to take a break at some point, and I just don't know when that is, but I'm gonna need to force a break on myself just so that I can like decompress and just be ready for pre-patch and the start of the expansion. I don't know when that is. I thought it was gonna be at the end of this weekend, but I'm a gold goblin, and right now my gold is increasing at a much better clip than it was over the last few weeks, and that makes me want to keep going, because I like to see my gold rise. So we'll see about that. But if there's something worth making a video on, I plan on it, whether it's beta related, PTR related, or just like a general get ready guide. Maybe I run into a good farm. Again, if it's something worthwhile, I'm gonna make it. What is my plan for this character? Honestly, my plan was to get over 1,000,000 gold, and then I was probably just going to buy as many tokens as I could on this server, just so I didn't have to use the gold on my main server. I still have a few tokens left, but I was going to buy a few because I'm just worried about the prices rising too much, and actually the price is really good right now, so that kind of makes me want to buy a few right this second. I might actually do that. I'm just worried about how high this price is going to get, so I kind of just want to get a bunch of tokens and sit on them and wait. So I may do that. But if I'm selling things at the profits I am right now on the server, I might still just kind of do it on the side and make gold, because still this character is probably making, at least in the last week, making more gold than my main server. In my main server, I'm doing every profession, you know, and doing multiple, you know, callings, and this I'm doing one character with one profession, right? And I'm still like making more gold over here because the profits are still really good, as much as the sells are a bit slow in comparison, but the profits are there, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So anyway, that's kind of my plan. I don't know exactly what I'm doing in the next week or two. I will need to take a break at some point. I just don't know when that's going to be. But this is the conclusion of our Fresh 60 Fresh server. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all got something from it. I hope you all got to see that it's really not that difficult, even in a crappy economy, I would say, to still make decent gold, right? So, if there's anything you would like to see, if there's anything I could do better, please let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.